So the soil's been put in and levelled. We've spread it all out, and that's only just the beginning. We've levelled it to what we think and what we consider is a good level, and now we've got to tread it. I think this is the most important thing on doing a turf job. My old boss showed me this when I was 16, and I thought he was actually winding me up. He explained what we do, why we do it, and how we do it, and I still thought we look a bit strange doing this, and as you can see in the photograph, we do. I think it's the best way to do it. You can use a roller. We've never used a roller, and I wouldn't suggest using a roller. I know you can use a roller, some people do. The problem with the roller is it spreads the weight over too much of an area, and you're also, if you're using your feet like this, you can actually feel every bump, every nook, every cranny. You can get more of a feel for it. It's ironic again because you want it rotivated with air in and structure, but you also want it compacted enough to enable the grass to grow but not sink. And we have a close-up here of Phil, and it's just your heels, not your toes. Your feet are at a 45 degree, or as much as you can get at an angle, and you're just using simply an inch apart or an inch and a half apart, and you just do that over the whole lot. So when you've got an area this big, it's quite daunting to know you've got to do this, and we do this a couple of times as well. But that's basically it. You can feel every bit, and then this is obviously a bit better because we're quicker. So we do this, and then we rake it all out, and we get it to a fine, what's called a tilth, a fine tilth, which is a good structure. And then when we're happy, we'll lay. We generally do this twice, and we get away with twice. Twice is good, but we have been known to do it 3 or 4 times even when it's a bit hard to break up. So we're just leveling it here. So we do actually, I'm only going to show the treading once, but we do actually do it twice on this job. So this is the first level, and after this we tread it and just do exactly the same again. And we didn't know, obviously, because we can't see into the future, that after this day we thought we were going to lay within a day or so. We got nothing but rain. I mean, we've already had the beast from the east. So when you see us on this next bit, it's about 2 weeks later. Okay, we're back at the lawn job. So we finally got back after what the beast from the east hit us, and then after that we've had the rain. So I think everyone's been in the same boat. So just going to put some fertiliser down, pre-fertiliser, and then the turf's at the front now, so we're going to get that, start laying, getting that into looking like a lawn. Okay, so I'll turn you around in a sec. When we're laying the grass, the other thing you'll notice is we won't be working off any planks. A lot of people say you've got to work off planks. Now, the only time we work off planks is if it's really wet. We've just spent, as you've seen earlier in the video, time walking on this with our heels a couple of times.
you don't want to consolidate it too much so it's absolutely sticky, because that would defeat the object. But we've got it as hard as we want, as hard as we need it. So therefore, why would we want to put a plank on to protect it when only our weight's going on it anyway? Like this now, I could dance all over this if I could dance, and it wouldn't make any difference to it. So therefore, you'll see us working with no planks, and we don't put planks on the grass either. I think it's well, I just don't like the idea. I don't think you need it. And to be perfectly honest, I actually like Monty Don on Gardener's World, but I've actually seen him using a sledgehammer hitting a board that there's actually no need for it whatsoever. So Monty Don, don't do it.
I like to just prepare the ground just slightly before each roll, and then when I do roll each roll out, I like to use my feet to feel every little bit on if there's any discrepancies, sorry, and just you can just feel it, get it. I don't use my hands to lay any of the turf, obviously, to move the roll, and then I use my feet. I've always used my feet. I tuck it in, I push it out, I pull it, push it, drag it, whatever I need to do. You can, as I say, feel everything. So really, every single inch I've stood on, and that's another reason why we don't use the planks. As I already explained, we've already firmed the ground up. The ground's firm. It isn't going to move unless it was saturated. Even in the rain, that wouldn't move. It would just get slightly muddy, uncomfortable on your feet, but it's trod down enough to keep it all intact. And I think the boards are just a hindrance. You can't feel what you're doing. Once the turf touches the soil, especially when it's damp, it's just going to grow. It wants to grow, and it will grow. As I say, you don't need heavy weights or sledgehammers or scaffolding boards or anything like that. So you will see me kicking the rolls around. I just, obviously, when I said I don't use my hands, I've got to knit them together first. I get it where I want it, and then I just use my feet to spread it about. I think I was controlling that piece of turf there a little bit like Mo Salah. We were expecting him to run down the wing when we saw this turf going down the road. There's Phil just tidying up, pointing up the flags. We've probably damaged a couple of the edges with the digger. They're looking smart now. So we're just on a final little piece now. Phil's just patching the tiniest little piece there, but we'll get there now. So that's the job. That's all completed. and we're very pleased with that so far, but there's just one final thing that must be done before we leave this site.
No way, Phil, I can't do it. Hey. Oh, filming, aren't you? I can't do it. I can't see the other end.
Go on.
No way, that. Hang on. Oh. No, I can't. Not like this. Can't do it. I'll come on quick first. I'm scared of getting trapped. Like that. Hello, Joe. Got your service.